I was halfway through making dinner, hands covered in tomato sauce, when the doorbell rang. I opened the door and there she was, his ex, hair perfectly curled, eyes locked on mine like she'd been rehearsing this moment. Without even a hello, she announced, "I'm here for him." We never actually broke up. I just stood there, heartbeat in my ears, sauce dripping onto the floor. She barely acknowledged me as she walked past into the apartment, calling his name. He stepped out from the bedroom, confusion flickering across his face before it hardened into something unreadable. "What are you doing here?" he asked, voice too calm, too practiced. She shot back, "What am I doing here? What are you doing playing house with her when you're still with me?" The air crackled. He looked at me, but the guilt in his eyes told me everything I needed to know. For months, I'd ignored the late nights, the mysterious phone calls, the way he flinched when I said I loved him. She pulled out receipts, literal receipts, from weekends he'd supposedly spent with friends. Hotels, gifts, dinners. "He never told you, did he?" She spat, tossing the paper onto the kitchen counter with a flourish. My hands shook as I realized just how many lies I'd swallowed, how many red flags I'd smoothed over because I wanted to believe in us more than I wanted the truth. He tried to explain, stammering about complicated situations and not wanting to hurt anyone, but his words sounded empty, hollow, like the promises he'd made me. As she stormed out, he turned to me, eyes pleading, but I saw now that the real betrayal wasn't just him cheating, it was me betraying myself every time I refused to see him for who he really was. The twist wasn't that he'd been two-timing us. It was that I'd been lying to myself all along, so desperate to feel love that I'd ignored the gut-deep certainty that something was very, very wrong. I wiped my hands clean, finally ready to walk away from both of them, and maybe, finally, back to myself.